Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. I got a job while I was in high school. It was with a friend of my father. I put away most of it and just bought myself some stuff I wanted, but my parents wouldn't buy for me. My parents aren't rich, but they do well enough. They wanted me to appreciate that material goods were paid for with my time. I didn't mind. I bought myself a PS4 and some games, which they made me share with my younger brother and sister. Once again, I didn't mind. I mostly played while they did homework or slept. When I graduated from high school, they said I had to start paying rent. That sucked because I was going to university in the fall, and I was hoping to save up over the summer so I could work less during the school year. So I worked my butt off in school and at work. I ended up getting a job loading delivery trucks before school. And that sucked because I went to sleep at 7 p.m. most nights so I could get up early and go to work. I'm about to graduate, and I found a job in another province. I've already started doing my onboarding and online training. I will go from graduating to loading my car to leave. My parents had a graduation party for me where they tried to present me with a check for all the rent I paid, plus a pittance in interest. I looked at the check for about a minute and started laughing. All I could think of was the fact that I had no social life during university, because I was working. I didn't have any money in investments like my friends did, because they were taking my money. I asked them how they were doing this for my sister. They said they weren't, since she wasn't working while she went to school. I tore up the check and told them to shove it up their butts. I told them that when they compensated me for all the sleep I lost, 4 years of no social life during university, and 4 summer vacations, I would speak to them again. I told my little brother not to get a job or they would duck him over too. I went to my room, grabbed my computer, some clothes, my PS4 and my toiletries. My brother and sister can play on the PS5 my parents bought the family. They were yelling at me the whole time. I said if they touched me or tried to stop me, I would call the cops. I loaded up my car that I paid for, I insure, and is registered to me. I drove to my friend's parents' house and had a bit of a breakdown. They let me stay there since she's away at university in another city. I blocked my parents and my brother and sister. I had already given notice at my job, so I called my boss and told him I was sick and would not be available for my last week. He said he understood and laughed. He said he was surprised I had kept working this close to graduation. My grandfather called me to talk a couple of days later. We went to Timmy's and he let me unload everything I felt. They took money from me that I could have used to make my life better. I didn't even have time for a girlfriend. My entire university romantic life was hooking up with a woman I work with when her ex-husband had the kids for the weekend. He said my parents' hearts were in the right place and that they thought they were helping me. I said they owed me 4 years of fun, of parties I was too tired to go to, of social events and networking I didn't do. All the crap they were subsidizing for my sister, and that they would end up subsidizing for my brother. He said he understood and hugged me. He is old, but I couldn't have gotten free of that hug if I tried. He asked me if I needed money to start my new job. I said I did not want anything that came from my parents. He gave me a cashier's check for about 3 times what my parents took from me. He said to use it however I wanted in my new life. He said it wasn't part of my inheritance or anything. It was a gift from him, and something my grandma would have wanted me to have. My friends think I was stupid to tear up the check. Most of them agree with me about being pissed at my parents. Some family have called me to say I behaved terribly, and that I owe my parents an apology. I thank them for the call or message and block them. I'm calmer now, and I do not think I am in the wrong. But maybe I'm too close to see what I'm missing. Am I the a-hole here? There is a line between teaching a child the value of hard work versus grinding them into the ground. $750 a month in rent, as OP mentions in comments, that they did not need is cruel and unkind. Parents acted badly. They stole OP's life and made university miserable. The fact they are going to let OP's sister enjoy her life because she doesn't have a job? What kind of reasoning is that? They do not deserve to be in OP's life after what they did, and treating OP's siblings differently. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Not the a-hole. How much were you paying in rent? I could understand a pittance, like $300. We've never taken money from our children. Son is living at home currently and working full-time, making over $70,000. But he doesn't pay to live here and we buy all food. I would rather he save money for a house. OP says, $750 per month. Not the a-hole. They saw that the lifestyle they forced on you was killing you for years and did nothing. And they waited to do it at a party they hosted so they could get full credit as great parents do. The fact that they never intend to pull this crap on your sister reeks of bias. Make sure you keep up the lines of communication with Grandpa. He's going to be there for you when you need an objective ear. I'm 40 years old and would do anything to have that back. This may all eventually blow over or not. Stay true to yourself. It's gotten you this far, and that's pretty awesome. I, 33 female, have a husband, Rick, 34 male, and we have 2 daughters, May, 11 female, and Vicky, 8 male. They are my whole world, and I love my family so much. I just have a secret I kept from Rick, a few months before I met Rick. I have a son, Weston, 14 male, who I had when I was 19. He's being raised by my best friend, Lori, 36 female, and her mother, Annie, 56 female. Lori and Annie are the only ones who knows what happened. But before I met Rick, I was very immature and didn't care. I have a very close friend, Liz, 34 female. She has a husband, Jax, 35 male, who I was very in love with at the time. When they were just dating, I slept with Jax. It was just a couple times unprotected, but I knew he would never leave Liz, which I didn't want that. I just wanted to have him for a little bit. Stupid, I know. Then I fell pregnant with Weston at 19. I freaked out and never told Jax I was pregnant. I did move in with my friend Lori and her mom Annie at the time. Told them the whole situation. Lori was very upset. She's still very close to Liz and our other mutual friends. It was just guilt I felt. Jax did try to get in contact with me at the time, but I blocked him and ignored him. After, I went through my whole 9 months of not really seeing anyone and just ignoring everyone, except for Lori and her mother. I gave birth to Weston and gave up my rights to him. I let Lori and Annie raise him, as that is what we all wanted. I love Weston, but I don't see him as my son. Everyone was shocked to learn that Lori had the baby. Liz even congratulated her. A few months after I had Weston, I met my husband Rick. I never told him anything about my situation. I fell really in love with Rick, and I didn't want to lose him. We got married quietly within a year. Then we had our daughter May a few years after, and then our other daughter. I still talk to and saw Weston, and he knows I'm his biological mother, but he doesn't see me that way. More like an aunt. Rick even met Weston, thinking that he was Lori's. They both bonded pretty well. Weston loves May and Vicky. They see each other from time to time. We all took vacations together, went out, and had spent the holidays together. I didn't really feel comfortable with anyone ever knowing. Everyone was happy. Till Lori told her cousin Lucas, 34 male, who was really close to Rick, and Lucas told Rick everything when he was at work. Then everything went downhill after that. I remember Rick coming home looking distressed and angry. I did ask him what happened and if he was okay. He just grabbed my hand and took me into our room. He didn't yell at me, as our daughters were in the house. Rick said he knew everything about Weston, and he is furious with me for not telling him. I did try to talk back, but Rick didn't let me. He told me he was so upset and doesn't trust me, thinking if everything else I told him is a lie. I was crying and pleading that I love him. He told me he knows I love him, but the lie I kept from him, it's what hurt the most. He continued with that I let him bond with Weston, knowing he wouldn't be upset if I had told him from the beginning that Weston was my son. He would have been accepting of my situation. He is also disgusted that Jax and I had a secret relationship while he was with Liz. He told me he sees me in a different light now. I admit that I was a dumb 19-year-old who was just in love. I was selfish, and I didn't want to lose him over this. I said I will do whatever I can to make this up, and we can get past this. Rick said he wasn't so sure anymore. Rick did ask me if I was in love with Jax when we started dating. I told him I wasn't in love with Jax anymore, and the moment I met him, I knew he was the love of my life. That all my feelings for him disappeared. I just despised Jack. Rick didn't really say anything for a minute, just staring, till he told me that he might need to tell Liz, and he needs space away from me. I did beg him not to go, and don't tell Liz. I don't want to lose both of them. But he grabbed some of his stuff and clothes, and he's staying at a hotel for a few days. He would come by to see our daughters and brush me off, like I don't exist. He won't talk to me, answer my phone calls or text messages. Lori and Annie did apologize to me, but I don't know what to do anymore. I know I should have told him, But I don't think I'm a cruel person for keeping it. It's a heavy, shameful secret. I'm not embarrassed of Weston. I'm embarrassed with the things I did back then. Now I feel like I'm going to lose my family now. Am I the a-hole for keeping my shameful secret from my husband? OP lied to her husband for years, only caring about hiding her mistakes and thinking only of herself. That whole time he thought Weston was someone else's child, and pretending to be friends with her close friend while having an affair with her husband behind her back. What deplorable behavior. I'm pretty sure karma will find OP one day if it already hasn't. And now let's hear the community's opinion. You're the a-hole. You don't hide something like that from a spouse. By not telling him for so long, I don't think a marriage, never mind a relationship, can survive that. I feel awful for your husband. You're the a-hole. Also, nothing is a secret when everyone knows. Hope the few years of comfort, not having to tell the truth, was worth it. Now you're going to lose your husband and break up another marriage. You're the a-hole, and you should probably prepare for the blow-up coming from Liz and Jax, too. They will undoubtedly find out. I feel so bad for those kids. What a huge mess you've created. My 27 female, boyfriend, 36 male, of a year, was married in his early 20s and has 2 kids with his ex. He has 3 family pictures in his house that have her in the pictures. In one, it's her with the kids in the middle of the 2 of them. In another, it's him with the kids and her off to the right, sort of in the background. In the third, it was him and her together and the 2 kids and Mickey Mouse, Disney. She has been awful to me, and I hate seeing her face. I've asked him to take the pictures down several times, but he says they are special memories with the kids. Well, yesterday I had had enough. I used a scanning app on my phone to scan the photos, then paid someone on Fiverr to remove her from the photos. All 3 of the photos look professionally done. It's the same photos, just without her. I then went to Walmart and had them print new pictures in the same size. I just put them in the frames. I put the originals in a desk drawer. When my boyfriend came home, I asked him if he noticed anything different. He didn't, which is what I suspected. The photos look great now and still have him and his kids. I pointed at one of the pictures. He got livid, telling me that I was being a jealous Nancy. I admit that I laughed because what is a jealous Nancy? Well, the laughing really set him off. He asked for the originals back and said he was going to put them back up and gave me an ultimatum to either accept his past relationship or move on. I said, I guess you don't want to be with a jealous Nancy. And he said no. I laughed again, and he asked me to leave. I've not heard from him since, but expect him to get over it. Really, this woman has been terrible to me. I'm not going to get started on it, but she has been cruel to me to the point of him breaking contact with her, except by text to talk about the kids. I think I have every right to not want to see her face. One of the pictures is in his bedroom even. Maybe I should just get over it. I felt like I was doing him a favor, because at least I didn't just cut her out, which was my original plan. Am I the a-hole here? Edit. I have a great relationship with his children, much to the ex's chagrin. Several of you have assumed that I was the other woman in the relationship. I was not. They were divorced long before I met him. You are right that there was infidelity in their relationship. She cheated with 2 men that we know of. That's why they divorced. While I don't think it's normal he keeps pictures of his ex in his bedroom, I think OP went way too far. You don't get to do things to other people's property without their consent. I'm surprised OP didn't Photoshop herself into them. She gives me that kind of crazy vibe. And now let's hear the community's opinion. You're the a-hole. Sorry, but it's not your call to mess with photos of him, his kids, and their mother. And he has every right to have them up. The solution was you dump him, not you screw with his stuff. And you were stupid for pointing out what you did. You're the a-hole. Imagine if the kids go over to visit and they see the pictures without their mom. I get that she was mean to you or whatever, but what you did was immature. Wow, you're the a-hole. Is your jealousy really so bad that you can't handle seeing a picture? It's his kid's mom. Out of curiosity, has she been cruel to you because you're fast-tracking being the crazy stepmother who tries to erase her from existence? My husband has a habit of never telling me when he's expecting guests. And to be blunt, I'm tired of it. We have an 8-month-old, and there has been at least 15 occasions now where he has invited his mother or sister over and just not told me, starting from 4 days postpartum. They both live 3 hours away. Well, my mother-in-law showed up here on Saturday, and I had just laid down with our daughter to take a nap, maybe 20 minutes prior. Like, I literally just fell asleep, with my breast out because I breastfeed, when my mother-in-law and husband walk into the bedroom. I wake up to my husband pulling my shirt back into a decent position and him saying, "Hey, Mom's here to see us." I say, "Well, I just got the baby down for a nap, so we aren't available." He kind of whispers to me and says, "Babe, she just traveled 3 hours to see us. You can take a nap after she leaves." I've had the same repeated conversation with this man about my thoughts on guests when I've not been informed beforehand, and due to this, I got incredibly pissed off and told him to get out of the room now. Well, my mother-in-law says something to the effect of, "Come on, up you go, I didn't travel down here for nothing," and starts pulling the blanket off me. So I snapped and said, "Yes, you did travel down here for nothing, because me and my daughter are not going to get out of bed for an unannounced guest. Get out now." My husband just looked embarrassed and told his mom, "Let's go," and pulled her out of the room as she was complaining about respect and whatever else. I heard the front door slam. I went back to sleep. I woke up an hour and a half later, and my husband was sitting at the kitchen island with a pissed-off look on his face, and as soon as he saw me, he unleashed. He said he can't believe I would embarrass him like that, and that it's not like it would have killed me to get my butt out of bed for 30 minutes so his mother could see me and the baby. I once again told him that unless he loops me in, I'm not open to guests. I'm done not being told what's going on and feeling like I'm in the dark in my own home. Now, he swears up and down that he did tell me, when I know for an absolute fact that he did not. He's trying to play the "she traveled 3 hours for nothing" card, but I truly don't care. I was tired, and I needed sleep. Visiting with an unannounced, to me, guest was not on my priority list. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Not only have you told him to inform you of guests coming, but he brought his mother into your bedroom to wake you up. For me, that's crossing the line and invading your personal space even more. Not the a-hole, and it's shocking how privacy in your own home has become a privilege rather than a right. Your husband needs a serious wake-up call regarding boundaries and common courtesy, not to mention respect for your time and well-being as a new mother. A simple heads-up is not a huge ask. It's basic decency. Keep standing your ground. Motherhood is tough enough without having to play hostess on no notice. What absolutely baffles me is that after he knows his mother is headed to your home, he has literally 3 hours to inform you that she's on her way. Holy smokes, not the a-hole. Hey everyone, I'm really struggling with a personal situation and could use some objective opinions. My 35 male, wife, 33 female, and I have been married for 8 years. We have 2 kids, and on the outside, seem like a happy couple. But I've recently discovered that she's been cheating on me with my brother, 38 male. It started with little signs I dismissed as stress or overthinking. Then I noticed a lot of secretive behavior, texts she'd hide, late nights out, and even her mood swings that I initially thought were just due to her work stress. When I finally confronted her, she denied it at first, then confessed she and my brother had been having an affair for over a year. I was devastated, and she apologized, saying it was a mistake and she wanted to work things out. Here's where things get complicated. My brother is married with 3 kids. Our families are close, and we see each other often at family gatherings. I was furious and decided to confront them both during our last family dinner. I didn't hold back, and I let everyone know what they'd been doing behind our backs. It caused a huge scene. My parents were devastated, and my sister-in-law was in tears. It was like a bomb went off, and I'm not sure if our family can recover from it. Now, my wife says I overreacted, and that I shouldn't have humiliated everyone like that. She claims we could have handled it privately, and my brother is saying the same thing. But I felt like I needed everyone to know the truth, because keeping it a secret felt like enabling them to continue lying. Am I the a-hole for exposing their affair in front of our families? Should I have handled it differently, or was my reaction justified given the betrayal I felt? Thanks in advance for your thoughts. I know this is a messy situation, but I need some perspective. I do like the nuclear option, especially when everyone is there. There's no getting his side, her side, my side, your side. It's just all right there. And then it's done, like ripping the Band-Aid right off. If you had given them time, pretty sure they'd be working on a story about how they were really the injured party, and you and your sister-in-law were somehow to blame. Nope, blindsiding them in public makes it harder for them to lie. Sorry you're going through this. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Cheaters always get mad when they're exposed, as if you're supposed to keep their secrets and lies safe and cover for them. You didn't defame anybody or spread rumors. You just revealed the truth. You did everyone a favor, including the cheated-on sister-in-law who had a right to know. I wouldn't feel guilty one bit. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. She made a mistake. Repeatedly for a year,